Welcome to Dan's Haunted Cottage. Step inside if you dare.
Right guys, so today I want to talk to you about a legend, a local legend which actually has its roots in fact, and it's a story about a local witch. But before we run away condemning her and condemning all those that were killed in the name of witchcraft, we have to remember that it was pretty ignorant times that people were living in. And you know, she was probably guilty of no more than treating people with homeopathy and natural cures for illnesses, and also midwifery. However, saying that, she does have a very, very dark and notorious story that paints not a pretty picture of her. Whether there's any truth in reality of it, I don't know. I do know that the story's true, but I don't know what the woman's character was like. Let's listen to the story about Sally Rainbow, a local witch here in Hertfordshire, or certainly on the periphery of Hertfordshire, in a little village called Bramfield. Well, good morning guys, and welcome to another video from Dan's Haunted Cottage. Now this morning I'm coming to you from, or I'm videoing in a little village called Bramfield, which is about 3 miles outside Hertford town itself where I live. And Bramfield's got a very, very cool story, and it goes back to the 18th century. And Bramfield is very well known in our area for a story or a tale, which is actually it's actually true, about a lady called Sally Rainbow. And Sally Rainbow was reputed in the area. Well, she lived in Hertford first of all, and then the villagers, because Hertford was a small town stroke village at the time, they ran her out. They ran her out of the town because they said that she was a witch, and indeed she was caught practicing some of the arts and crafts of witchcraft. Now the thing about Sally is she was quite notorious for being, how shall I put it, not a particularly nice person. And she moved out here to a small area outside of Bramfield village, just on the periphery of it, very, very close indeed, to a place called Sally Rainbow's Dell. Some cars coming, so please excuse the noise. And that's where she set up home. It was in a little, for want of a better description, a small little cave or cutout, and she lived there quite happy. Now everybody in Bramfield was terrified of her. The local farmers were terrified of her because they thought that if they'd upset her in any way, then what she would do is she would give the evil eye to their cattle. They would end up blighted, their crops wouldn't grow. And so what they used to do is they used to leave tokens of affection for her. So they'd leave food for her, and they would basically leave her on her own and alone. Which it worked out quite well really, because being quite a nefarious individual, she had a relationship with a very, very famous highwayman, and I'm sure you've all heard of him, called Dick Turpin. Now Dick Turpin used to hide out in her den, and also another local villain, not so well known, called Clibborn, and I'm sure I've taken you to Clibborn's post before, and I've showed you where he was actually killed. He used to hide out there as well, and they used to hide their booty there, and I think that she used to get a share of it from them. But yeah, so Dick Turpin was a very good friend of hers, apparently, and yeah, she was notorious for hiding him and his loot. But yeah, most of the people around here were terrified of her. Now, I'm not sure of the situation You know, I know a lot of people are accused of witchcraft, and it doesn't seem to be witchcraft. A lot of it is just midwifery and ancient ways of healing people. But for her, I would think that, you know, they may be right on the button of what they were saying with her, because it does sound that she wasn't particularly kind to people that lived around and near her. So yeah, that's just, you know, there's a lot more to it than I can tell you. In actual fact, we did an investigation some years back up at her, at Sally Rainbow's Dell, which is where she lived and where she abided. And we asked out some questions, and one of the girls there got a reply as an EVP asking, "What do you want?" After she asked where Sally Rainbow was, "Sally, are you here? Can you answer me?" Sorry guys, the reply that she got back was, "What do you want?" And it was in that kind of country accent, because you got to remember, 300 years ago, this really was the countryside. This was in the middle of nowhere. You know, it wasn't. It was accessible, but it was kind of cut off from the rest of the main town and that. So it was out in the periphery. But yeah, so that's the story. So obviously Dick Turpin was a friend of hers, as was Clibborn. Interesting to know that they all met their end, or sticky end. Although I'm not sure what happened to Sally. Nobody seems to know what happened to Miss Sally. But there are various places around here that carry the names of these individuals. We have a Dick Turpin Close, Thieves Lane. We've also got, I think we've got Clibborn's Lane around here somewhere. So yeah, so they were notorious people. And of course now it's a very quiet, peaceful little village. I guess it was pretty much the same in her day. But I think the folks around here now, absent of that kind of individual, are probably quite happy. But you never know, a spirit may very well linger on, and it may very well still be in the ether of Bramfield Village.